everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attacker Productions. Today, Banker I'll be joined once again by Jimmy, Jake, and like always, Fluff.
Sure. What's going on, y'all? That threw me off so bad.
What's up, beautiful people?
And today's matchup is Fluff versus Jake. They didn't get a chance to play at TCG Con, so they decided to play their decks today and play each other round one.
It's a conspiracy.
It is.
But
We were joking before the event started about how we were going to get paired up, and then it happened.
We just talked that right into existence.
yeah, want to point out you both have metal leaders, which look fabulous when they're awakened, and on actually both sides look great.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
They're great.
Special shout out to TCG Metals. That's TCG METALZ. Thanks for the love. We're going to show it right back.
So, like always, just buttons down below, but let's get into today's matchup. Yellow versus yellow.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've played against Syn Shenron, but it was one of the decks that I had considered taking to TCG Con, so I had played it a little bit, but I did not know how Trunks Vegeta was going to fare against it.
Trunks Vegeta was the one deck that I did not get to test Syn Shenron against going into TCG Con. So I didn't really know how this match was going to go either. And I jokingly told Jake before the event started, I was like, well, if we get paired up, you just got the win. Like, I don't think there's any way I beat you. And luckily,
I kind of thought the same thing.
it's a much more competitive match than you would think.
Yeah, yellow on yellow, you would expect just the more efficient deck to win, but these decks are efficient in such different ways that they end up being kind of a pretty nuanced matchup.
Yeah, Jake is definitely going to go wider. I'm going to go taller. The Trunks Vegeta deck is going to try to control the game out more, and over time, by way of attrition, take the value away from the Syn Shenron deck. Whereas the Syn Shenron deck is going to try to take the game long while putting on big pressure to break down the opponent's resources.
Yeah, and then hopefully on turn 6, you can just tap 6 and win the game.
Hopefully.
So, had a little bit of a rocky start with the turn 1 Basil, but everything's up and going for my deck now. And if I remember correctly, yeah, looks like Fluff's going to go into the 4-drop here. And I completely forgot that will keep my leader from attacking next turn. And I had actually planned on kind of utilizing that ability in my mind on the next turn and just completely forgetting that he was going to lock me out of swinging. So, this is just a really solid start for Syn.
Yeah and no. I'm not really happy about that find off the top there. I did have the 9-drop already in hand. I think I found it off my turn 1 swing. So
yeah, it got revealed.
I knew that I was going to have that. I wasn't particularly satisfied with the Oceanus grab there. It's just an Ice Shenron, and I don't know that I have a Nova in hand to utilize it off of.
Yeah, Ice is still a relevant counterplay against some of the cards that I run, like Basil, so even seeing that gave me a little bit of pause. I charged the Cooler here because it's not super relevant in this matchup, and this coming up, you know how we say, let us make the mistake so you don't have to? It's a mistake to time walk yourself into a 9-drop Shenron and just feed him one of the better cards in your deck.
Yeah. I felt completely safe tapping for that block there because you didn't have any of your EX evolves up.
Couldn't attack with lead.
Couldn't attack with lead. Basil's not going to trigger because I don't even have 5 cards on the field. So I felt fairly safe doing that. And it was just one of those feels bad moments.
Yeah. I don't know how much I can reiterate this, but turn 3 is incredibly pivotal for this matchup, and giving away your entire turn 3 is a huge mistake. It would have been better for me to tap the 3 and just straight up pass than to do what I did last turn.
Yeah.
It would have been better for me to play nothing and straight up pass than to do what I did last turn.
Turn 3 is such an explosive turn for both decks, really, too. You know, depending on how things shake out, I could put that triple strike Omega on the field. At worst, I can put out a Nova, put out an Ice or a Natron, swing, put out the other Omega, give it double strike or dual attack, or turn it into a blocker itself. Like, it just becomes such a crazy turn for me if things shake out the right way.
And this Nova does a lot of good work for you as well.
Yeah, you really have to kind of take your victory with Nova as it comes, because usually if it survives and sticks around, your opponent just kills it.
Yeah, here I just combo off of Trunks, hoping that you don't go into another chain so I could play it from the drop next turn. Here you play the big 8, and things start to get a little bit spooky for me.
I don't think that I have a fantastic target to cannibalize, so I just take the Omega, or sorry, I take the Oceanus effect. I know blowing out your Trunks just gives you resources.
Plus he's barrier.
Like, yeah. So there's no point in me kind of gunning for that. So getting rid of the Basil so that you can't dual attack me is the best option there.
Yeah, that would have been huge for me as well, but you personally play enough yellow to know how to get around that. And then I think I use my detach. No, not yet. I just double super here because I'm really digging. As you can see from my play last turn, 1, I'm pretty tilted, and 2, I did not have EX Evolve targets, which would have been much cleaner and safer to go into than that Lord Slug that I went into. Like, the optimal play would have been to evolve into a Vegeta and swing lead, and then if you block, I get to pop the 9 before it gets revenged. So, actually, I don't know if Revenge might still proc, but either way, trading that Vegeta for the 9 would be great. But unfortunately, I just literally gave you that turn. But now that that's over and I was able to get out of that 8-drop swing, I feel like I'm starting to stabilize a little bit.
The Trunks Vegeta deck starts to show its colors here, about how quickly and efficiently it can stabilize. You did have to burn 2 super combos, which is kind of bad, but I think it shored up your hand enough that it was a worthwhile investment.
Yeah. Also, getting a little bit of pressure out of this token is nice since you're still on the front this late in the game because of the way Syn Shenron awakens. So even though the blocker just straight up got negated off of the 9-drop, and these probably should have come out for the time magics in my board, it was nice to get a little bit of a little bit of return on investment for that Frieza's army reinforcement.
Yeah, I was sitting there thinking, like, I really don't want to take that because I know that there's going to be some shit coming down the line. I'd go on ahead and take this opportunity to use Naturon to go on ahead and rest the Turles coming in. And then the Sen will, of course, negate its skills, but I'm going to lose the Sen and the Omega here, which isn't fantastic.
You do get to draw 2 cards and play the ball. There really wasn't a clean way for me to negate the skills on the 9, but even setting you back just a little bit is enough for me at this stage of the game.
Yeah. And at this point, I have to weigh, is it worth me trying to awaken this turn? Or do I try to pressure through? Jake talked a little bit about how it was maybe a mistake to play the slug on turn 3. I make my own sort of mistake in this turn. I'm looking at Jake's field, and I'm not picking up the cards and verifying. I played this deck, so I should know the cards. But in my mind, I'm sitting here calculating what it's going to take to potentially kill Jake this turn, knowing that I still have an adequate window to do so. And I completely forget that Trunks is a blocker. So I'm doing my calculations and I'm kind of working up the sequencing in my head to figure out what to do, and I just completely forget that card is a blocker.
Yeah, looks like off the Oceanus here, you grab a Haze, which is a really good target to grab off Oceanus because it lets your opponent know there's a Haze in their hand. So your opponent might play their turn a little bit goofy, trying to protect their battle cards from getting popped by Haze.
Yeah. Haze is one of those cards. Haze is either amazing in a match or completely useless. There's really no in between. And my suspicion is that I'm going to use Haze here. I did forget that the Trunks had blocker. Jake was kind enough to let me take that super combo back. In exchange, he has the knowledge that I have a super combo in hand. So he'll be playing around that for the rest of the game. And I just used the Haze to go ahead and blow up the turtles.
And that way your attack on my leader isn't completely wasted here.
Yeah. I can't afford for that attack to be wasted. I really need it to either draw a card out of your hand or for you to just take that damage.
I just comboed to 20, and here you come in with the double striker. Unfortunately, I'm forced to utilize my detach defensively here on the activate battle, but kind of saves me a little bit, especially since you're going into the 4 anyway, which will prevent me from attacking with the lead. So the detach would not have been relevant on my following turn anyway.
Yeah. I had to bait out the Trunks ability here. So that was the reason for playing the 4-drop when I played it. I don't have a 9-drop in hand, I don't believe, or I didn't at that time. So it was like, okay, that just needs to be a 1-energy sacrificial lamp to play around it so I can get through and provide pressure.
And here, since you dual attacked, I go ahead and activated Frieza, hoping that you would tap yourself out in an attempt to kill me.
I think Frieza saved you this turn.
Oh, for sure.
Because if Frieza hadn't have been there and made me tap an additional energy on the swing, I would have been able to follow up with another potential killing swing, or at least functionally fire off. I did activate my Awaken skill in that turn. I just forgot to flip my leader over. So you'll see here that I did flip the leader.
Yeah, he'll flip it eventually, and he is at 3 life after activating the pickup on the 8-drop.
Yeah.
Or it might be, yeah, the Omega's an 8-drop, I think.
Yeah, the Omega's an 8-drop.
So even though he's at 3, I know he has access to Haze, so this 8-drop is basically dead. It's not worth me giving up 2 barrier cards to just get it popped by Haze, even though he spent a Haze and has one in the energy. I know how quickly Syn rips through the deck, so I don't think this 8-drop is relevant. And now I'm cursing charging the 8-drop because I am able to... I could have potentially killed him this turn because I think... yeah, he's at 3, so with the moves that I am able to make, I could have pressured those last 3 life.
Yeah, you absolutely could have. I think I had like 13 cards in my hand at the start of this turn.
Yeah, I think if you check the audio, I laugh audibly during this.
Being that we've been playing a best of 1 with sideboard options, I decided to bring in 3 Dragon Thunder against you because I knew how wide your board goes with a bunch of sub 20,000 cards. And so I think Dragon Thunder was just the right call out of my sideboard for this. I'm able to stack 2 Dragon Thunder on my leader, so now my leader is 25 for the turn. And you're basically just forced to pass because you're not going to get through.
Yeah, this energy is better served on defense for me than offense.
I am now remembering that Trunks is a blocker after walking into it. So it's a matter of trying to maneuver through that blocker. And also maneuvering through that skill.
Yeah. I would have liked to have seen a Poutine at this juncture to maybe kind of muddle up your turn a little bit more. But as things are standing right now, I just have the Trunks on the board, and I'm only going to get 1 rest. So here we just chuck a dice on the token since there's 2 tokens in play, and only one of them is going to be able to block. So we're aware of that fact.
Yeah.
Also, now that I'm at 2, I'm unsure if Fluff runs Champa or not in his Syn list. But now I have to respect every single attack that's made at me because of our hand differential.
Yeah. I do run Champa. It's just in Syn, if it's not a Shadow Dragon, the likelihood of you seeing it is so incredibly diminished that it's disgusting.
Just by nature of all the milling and things that you do.
Yeah. So you blocked with the blocker token, which kind of ate that triple strike. I was expecting it out of the Trunks potentially. Yeah, there. I don't know why I tapped the Omega Shenron because I activated Nova's ability.
No, you got rested when Nova came in from Trunks.
Nova came into play, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't. Unfortunately, you can't use the rest and play a dragon ability off of Nova this turn.
But the Nova did exactly what I wanted it to do. I wanted it to get that 9-drop off the field, or get that the Omega off the field, so I would be free to play a second Omega.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that you hit that Trunks early on one of these swings instead of holding the Trunks out for what's coming after this. And as soon as you tap the Trunks, I breathed a sigh of like relief there. Yeah. I was like, okay, I got exactly what I wanted out of that exchange.
And with the dual attack, it's a whole lot of pressure.
I don't have to put any investment into this. I do go on ahead and add an investment to the swing just in case you have a surprise, like a free blocker or something like that. Like you won't be able to spark out a response here. You're going to have to spend your open energy to do it.
And the cooler. Yeah. I was hoping Steadfast would provide me some level of protection and maybe get me into the next turn, but cooler comes in really big here, and like we said before about the hand differential, there's no way I survive this.
Yeah. I was also, another reason that I went in a little heavy was I was expecting you to have a final flash in hand. So I didn't want to try to rely on a triple strike trying to kill you.
Right. And with the final flash in hand, I probably should have saved a blocker effect and just final flashed your first triple striker swing and picked up a life. But, hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah.
And with that being said, thank you all for joining today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. And keep in mind, there's buttons up below and on the screen while Fluff does the outro.
We both made pivotal mistakes. We were both able to restabilize after that. It was really just the hand differential that won that one. As always, it was a fantastic match against Jake. It always pushes me to like that limit where you have to play on like your top game or you just get rolled. As always, read your cards, know your plays. Let us make the mistakes so that you don't have to, and fluff out.